Hey, how's it going? So in today's video, I want to talk about how to create a shorter marketing funnel. If you happen to be catching this video live, do me a favor, hit pound live. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you happen to be catching this via the replay, do me a favor and hit pound replay and let me know where you are tuning in from. Before I forget, if you have a marketing process right now that you know may have some leaks and is not properly optimized, and you would like to take advantage of a free marketing optimization call, you can go to VladimirAdonis.com to schedule that free marketing optimization call. So basically, creating a shorter funnel, you want to be able to do that because at times, what I recently noticed is that I was creating unnecessarily friction, right? If you want to go ahead and travel down a path, if I want to go back to my hometown, Belle Glade, it's not necessary for me to go to, I live in Boynton Beach right now. It's not necessary for me to go to Miami and then make my way to Belle Glade. If I do that, what I'm doing is I'm adding an additional 45 minutes to my drive, right? So it's not necessary to do that. However, as of recently, I noticed that I was doing that in my marketing. When I first got into this business, my first business was a dating site. And at some point when the dating site didn't work, I had acquired some knowledge and some expertise. And I noticed that people was using that knowledge and that expertise and they were making money with it online. I was introduced to the concept of a marketing funnel per se, and there were so many different marketing funnels out there that I was pretty much, overwhelmed. I was studying marketing funnels, and then the big question was, okay, there's probably 10 or 15 different types of marketing funnels that I had been introduced to and that I was studying at that point. And the big question was, which one should I use for, my business? I was a brand new business person. So I could essentially use any one of those marketing funnels. It wasn't until I went to an in-person workshop. And when I went to that in-person workshop, I got details and step-by-step as to the marketing funnel that I wanted to launch first. And the marketing funnel that I launched first was a discovery call marketing funnel, meaning that I wanted people to get on the phone with me to learn more about what it is that I do so that way we can see if we are a good fit. And I remember one of the things that I did at the time is I ran the Facebook ads as a result of going to that workshop, and I learned that I was going to be doing a discovery call marketing funnel. In order to make that marketing funnel work, one of the things that we did is we created a free guide and or a free resource. And I gave people the opportunity to go to a page. And when they went to that page, they can go ahead and gain access to that free resource and or that free guide. And then after they gain access to that free resource and or that free guide, they would consume the content. And after they consume the content, I gave them the opportunity to schedule a time with me. So that was the next step. After that, right, I had a couple of emails, and those emails basically directed people back to do two things: to consume the content, because I knew that if they consume the content, then they had the opportunity to schedule a time with me. So because I was accustomed to that type of a marketing funnel, and that type of a marketing funnel had worked for my business, I started to use it, pretty much everywhere, right? So as of the time that I'm publishing this content now, I have a YouTube channel, and on my YouTube channel, I use that same marketing funnel. I'm sending you to a page. You're going to download something for free, and then after that, you're going to have the opportunity to get on a call with me. I have a podcast as well. Same thing. You're going to, listen to a piece of content via my podcast. After you do, you have the opportunity to go to a page, download something for free. And then after you download the thing for free, right, you're going to consume the content. So I'm going to give you value. And then after I give you value, I'm going to give you the opportunity to get on a call with me. And I'm going to have some emails that's going to direct you to go back and consume the content. And after you consume the content, you schedule a time with me. Well, as of recently, I noticed that that was not necessary for certain audiences. So if you think about the podcast audience, for example, as of right now, depending on when you're listening to this, I have probably close to 40 episodes on my podcast. Think about someone that goes and consumes content on your podcast. That person is going to go. If they resonate with the content, they're going to listen to a handful of content, 3 episodes, 5 episodes, 6 episodes. Well, it's not necessary to go send that person somewhere to go download something for free. At that point, you can send that person directly to schedule a time on your calendar. Why? Because they've already gotten value in advance. You don't necessarily have to give them additional value for them to go ahead and take the next step with you. So what I recently did is I went back and I pretty much modified my marketing funnel, and I made it a lot shorter, right? Instead of people who are consuming my content on YouTube and on my podcast, sending them to go download something for free and then sending them email follow-up and so on and so forth, I don't necessarily have to do that because the podcast does that job. The podcast does that job a couple of different ways. Podcast has multiple different episodes, so I can build that know, like, and trust with them via those different episodes. And the podcast serves as a follow-up as well. If that person decides to subscribe to my podcast, oh, by the way, if you're watching and or listening to this and you haven't subscribed to my podcast, Vladimir Donis, you can look me up on any podcast platform, subscribe to my podcast. But yeah, from a follow-up standpoint, I don't necessarily need to create any follow-up content either because the podcast serves as a follow-up. Because someone who listens to episode number 20, right, and they have subscribed, when episode number 21 comes out, guess what? They're going to get a notification that's going to let them know that there's a new podcast that is available. So hence, that's going to serve as a follow-up and allow me to give that person just that much more value and allow me to go ahead and send that person to my funnel, quote unquote. So if you have a similar process to the process that I've just discussed and you're doing the exact same thing that I was doing, I encourage you to shorten the funnel. And that is how you can go ahead and shorten, the funnel per se, because in some cases, in some instances, right, it's not necessary. You're building pre-frame. The same thing is true, with the group as well. I have I'm shooting this live inside of a group right now, Facebook group right now. This Facebook group has, some content. I have content in other places as well. I can build that know, like, and trust with people on this platform and then invite them to the next step of the process per se. And that next step for me right now, as of this time, is to simply schedule a time and let's look at your marketing process and let's look at how we can optimize it for more leads and more clients. That's it. That's all I have for you today. I'll talk to you soon. Pound live if you live. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Pound replay if you're catching the replay. I want to know where you are tuning in from. That's it for now. I'll talk to you soon.